Aloha, y'all. It is May the 4th. May the 4th force be with you, right? Star Wars style. It is May 4th, Sunday. Sunday is the ruler and the nomenclature etymologically, but also the ruler esoterically. Sunday, May 4th. That was a mouthful. Jesus Christ. Sun is, well, before I get to the astrology, for the ADD kids in the back, I'm going to show you what I pulled, and then we'll get into it. The Eight of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and this angel is corresponding to the degree of the sun, but this is Aziel, same idea. The astrology, real quick, drive by. Sun 14 Taurus, Moon 13 Leo, Mercury 20 Aries, Venus 2 Aries, Mars 7 Leo, that's technically loosely conjunct the Moon, Jupiter 22 Gemini, Saturn 28 Pisces, that is technically loosely conjunct Venus, about 4 degrees. Uranus 26 Taurus, Neptune 1 Aries, that's conjunct Venus and Saturn technically. Pluto 3 degrees Aquarius, North Node 26 Pisces, up in that last degree Pisces, early degree Aries, conjunction city with Neptune, Saturn, and Venus. Black Moon Lilith 4 degrees Scorpio, Chiron 24 Aries, and that is conjunct Mercury by 4 degrees. So we've got the Moon and Mars are conjunct. They are trining Black Moon Lilith. They are Mars is opposite Pluto. Mars is trining Venus and Neptune. The Moon is trining Mercury. Jupiter is squaring Saturn in the North Node. Uranus is trining Pluto. The Sun is squaring Mars rather, and the Moon. So some intense energies. Speaking of intense energies, we've got the Eight of Swords. If you're an air sign, a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, you are an air sign. But the Eight of Swords is all about using kind of the caterpillar's cocooning for your butterfly growth. Exploring the realm of constriction and how that frees you with the power of surrender. Right, North Node in Pisces is telling us to go with the flow. Freedom is a state of mind. Jupiter and Gemini become a catalyst for transformation. Pluto and Aquarius trining Uranus in Taurus. The Eight of Swords on page 136. I use what restricts to expand. The Eight of Swords explores the realm of powerlessness, feeling helpless and weak, where there are no possibilities available to influence a situation or relationship. This feeling can be all-consuming. We are utterly bound by the restrictions the mind imposes, devoid of hope, unable to choose. This card calls you to explore the existing restrictions in your life and ask how they can become catalysts for tremendous creativity and directed purpose. The image shows a beautiful woman bound using the Japanese art of restriction known as kinbakubi, the beauty of tight binding, quote-unquote. She is encased in an Egyptian sarcophagus, very Venus, Sun, Moon, and Leo, right? Beautifully grounded stuff. She's in a sarcophagus from Egypt. Her demeanor appears peaceful, as though this act of bondage and confinement has forced a conscious surrendering that is transformative. This is evident by the fluttering of butterflies at her head. The sarcophagus stands upright with 4 swords staked in a beach like some great sculptural apparition. This marks her journey, a ritual of internal expansion. Hovering in the air at sunset are 2 vessels of spirit technology, jewels of creative intelligence resonating with potential. This sword card is double-edged. The edge of restriction on the one side unleashes phenomenal power, and on the other side it's about feeling powerless in yourself and in a situation, feeling that there are no possibilities. This feeling can be all-consuming. It's why Anakin turns to the dark side. He feels powerless, right? We are utterly bound and devoid of hope and unable to choose, and when we have that, we fall victim to whatever or whomever is imposing the restriction. As with all the cards in the tarot, the crux is in the viewpoint. Jupiter and Aquarius, see from on high, Pluto and Aquarius, or Jupiter and Gemini, I misspoke, Pluto and Aquarius, and most importantly, our capacity to act as a result of what is revealed, right? With Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Mars in Leo, Moon in Leo. It's all about action of the heart, not sitting still on this. Make the moves. Our capacity to act as a result of what's revealed. Feeling trapped by situations and circumstances can force something important to shift. The discomfort becomes so intense, the pressure so great that transformation must happen. That's why tectonic plates build pressure, pop. That's an earthquake. When we take away all options except complete fulfillment, then something within us is powerfully directed towards the objective. The more loose and free we are, the less focused strength we have to shape our reality. This is something that I have constantly explored in graphic design, art, and life in general, and that's David DeAngelis. He's been on my podcast a few times. Although the Starman Tarot appears to contain an extraordinary amount of ideas and artistic elements, in fact, I impose tremendous restrictions on myself throughout the entire creative process. That's why a gun works, right? You have an explosion that's channeled into a point of a barrel, and it hits a target. Having utterly extraordinary creative technologies, Pluto and Aquarius, and countless references, Jupiter and Gemini, will not create something which truly touches people unless those resources are channeled through a small discerning aperture of great idea, right? Sun and Taurus, ground the idea. Make it from the heart, Moon and Leo. The idea must create the pressure. The entry point is minuscule. It strips everything back until the art and design are lean and strong. If you apply this discipline to every area of your life, Saturn conjunct Venus in Pisces, you will discover that not only do you start to see amazing results, but you will also notice how much easier life gets. It sounds paradoxical at first, Jupiter and Gemini. Making life harder then makes life easier. That's why you study. I mean, Miles Davis said it best. He's like, learn all the music theory, and then forget it. Just jam. Like, you'll do all the work. So we got to do the work. We feel kind of bound here. Exploring that realm of constriction, how it frees you, the power of surrender. Freedom is the state of mind and becoming the catalyst of transformation. The clarifying card is the Four of Wands. If you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, you are a wand. And this is on page 108, the number of malas in a Buddhist prayer necklace, mala beads. Four of Wands, I enroll others in the strength of my vision. Four of Wands, setting the stage for celebration, communicate and build your pillars of relationship and achieving a balance, a beautiful balance. I think the idea here is that we're setting the stage, right? This is the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. It has to set the stage. Winter turns into spring, right? The seed is latently powerful in there, and then it breaks the shell and it pops out, and then it gets pollinated by the bees and fairies or whatever, and blooms. Venus, Sun and Taurus. It's Venus ruled Sun, in Taurus kind of situation. So we can feel really constricted, like we're in the heart of winter. Like we're like, when am I going to pop? What? I got to make moves. It's very itchy feet, but just know that this is all preparing you for blooming. It's not by accident. And that comes to the angel. This guy's been on my podcast too, Wizard of Odd. He's got many decks. Check him out. This is almost like a Rorschach. You can see the smoke imaging. The art creates different faces. You could hold it different ways and see different things. But this today, because of the degree of the sun, is angel number 9, Aziel. Says the merciful God. Psalm 25:6. Remember, O Lord, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindnesses, for they have been ever of old. Great is thy faithfulness, right? So the idea with this angel, though, is the following. Love is stronger than anything, right? Even when we feel like we're bound and trapped, it's like, oh my gosh, the gratitude is the attitude, because just to even exist is loving. And then when you come from that place, you can really feel empowered and bloom. Love is stronger than anything. Aziel is the angel of universal love who allows us to truly love, to transform all forms of negativity with kindness and goodness. It teaches us that love is stronger than anything. Moon and Leo, Sun and Taurus. Universal love, divine mercy, gifts of forgiveness and reconciliation, good faith, trust and sincerity, goodness that absolves all evil, powerful energy that transforms all negativity, support, encouragement, friendship, grace, favor for those in power, promise, commitment, altruism, childlike purity. So I think the idea altogether now is it might feel like we're a little bound. Hurry up and wait. We don't know where we're going. We have to trust and surrender to the process, just like the flowers in winter. They die, they shrivel, they say, oh fuck, am I ever going to come back, right? And then winter thaws and spring comes and they are pollinated. They have to trust in the loving design of grace, basically, that there's going to be a time for everything. And sometimes that time can be confusing, especially for our minds, and it can make us feel very, trapped. But in that kind of acorn mode is a beauty that can't happen any other way, right? It's a powerful, balancing, alchemical act. So know that you can tap into that graciously, gratefully, powerfully with universal love. And hopefully on this May 4th, the Force will be with you. May the 4th be with you. This is the only Star Wars shirt I've had. I've had it for over a decade, so I love this shirt. Millennium Falcon schematic. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday. Holler for a reading. If you get a tarot reading, which is $50 for an hour, if you get one, or rather I should say this, if you throw someone my way, if you have a referral, you'll get half off. So if somebody comes to me and says, Billy sent me, Billy, you get $25 tarot reading. Astrology $150 for 3 hours. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios.